Hey LeGrand Alive, this is your weekly Newsish Roundup, brought to you by Valley Realty, Grand Run Hospital, Marketplace Family Foods, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, and Direct Music Source. How do I cleverly say that I got out of the studio this week? Well, this week I made like a horse and got. I made like Zoolander at the end of the movie and left. I made like Gary Johnson and peeked, out into the world of LeGrand that is, and what did I find? Well, I'm here at 5 Point Stream, which is one of the projects that the U.S. Forest Service LeGrand Ranger District is doing right now to rehabilitate the population of salmon in the Grand Ronde Valley and the surrounding area. So here's the scoop. About 10 years ago, Bonneville Power got stuck with a really big debt as a result of being sued by a native organization on the Columbia River. Essentially what they said is you have to pay for projects to rehabilitate the salmon populations in the area that your dams caused to deteriorate. I got a chance to talk to some of the Ranger District employees and members this last week to talk to them a little bit about some of the processes that they have been using to restore the stream and why exactly they've been doing it.
Another big part of our program is our restoration, our stream restoration work. It's a very robust program. We've restored almost 60 miles of fish habitat in the last 7 years. There is a big incentive to do that here because we have 3 fish that are listed on the Endangered Species Act in the Columbia Basin. We're doing what we can to restore habitat where it makes sense to do that.
4 Indian tribes sued Bonneville for the loss of the Chinook runs. Based on that determination, they had 10 years to try to correct the problem. They're trying to close the viability gap, and that's basically a gap in habitat work, and include hatchery work, and include hydroelectric work. They got to close this gap to try to get the populations to be more secure and bring the numbers back up.
When we start identifying watersheds that are impaired or that have had heavy history of land management, we start looking at the current condition of these habitats.
What you do is you hydrate the soils in the floodplain, and that water will slowly leak out of the floodplain and provide flows later on in the summer. More flow and decreased temperature, stream temperature, later on in the summer for fish habitat.
Now, much of the work has already been done on this dam. And actually, they've been seeing results. Just downstream from where I am right now, a beaver has moved into under one of the man-made structures that they've put back onto the stream. And they saw fish swimming in the pool. It was really cool, and I got to see Sarah get really excited about her work actually showing results. So if you're interested in getting in touch with the Ranger District to talk about this, or to get involved somehow, you can contact Sarah Brandy at the Rangers District in LeGrand off of the highway on the way out to Union. So, fun story, Sarah and I nearly got shot by a hillbilly while filming that piece. We were walking down the hill somewhere near 5 Points Creek, and out of the blue, bang, 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 bullets hitting off the rocks just feet from us. Of course, I guess I don't really have anything to complain about. Journalists in other countries get shot at a whole heck of a lot more than me, and by a whole heck of a lot more dangerous troglodytes than some hillbilly who doesn't know what a buck looks like. Whoever you are, mysterious gunman, just so you know, no matter how many camera operators you shoot, a tripod will still have just 3 points and won't look very good mounted on your wall. Anyways, in other news... Hey LeGrand, so check out this beautiful woodwork. If you get in real close, you'll see nicely polished grain, a really finely finished piece of woodwork, and it's one of many pieces of woodwork here in the new Marketplace Family Foods grocery store, which is going to be opening up here in a couple weeks, which is pretty cool. 1, because I can go get my lunch here during the school day, and 2, because it is going to be a place that is going to be primarily focused on local foods, local meats and cheeses. And it's going to be on this side of town, so I don't have to bike everywhere. But that's not the point of this story. We'll probably do some more with them. This story is about Steve Armont, who does most of, if not all of the woodwork for this store. And we got a chance to sit down with him and chat with him a little bit this last week and just kind of see a little bit about what he does woodworking and why he does his craft.
I've been doing woodworking since I was 17. Carved something to impress a girl, and it, of course, didn't work.
Oh.
But I've kept up picking at it for forever. And then I lived on the coast and started carving formal Victorian couches. At some point I started building carousel animals and did carousel carving workshops all over the West, Alaska, Calgary, San Francisco. Yeah, we carved hundreds of carousel horses and giraffes and vegetables. Yeah, all sorts of interesting things. Sent things. I once sent a giraffe to Siberia. The jobs I like to take, are things that nobody else can do or wants to do. Because if somebody else can do it, I'd rather they did, because then I shouldn't have to. That's sort of my philosophy about that.
Now, Steve Armand is from Lostine. He's just over the hill from the valley, and we will probably be skipping our happy butts over there and doing a people project on him coming up here soon. They are currently restoring an old, antiquated, and beautiful house from the 1800s to a new condition. And if this kind of work is any suggestion about the quality, I can't wait to see that. Now, also, speaking of People Project, keep your eyes open for Baptism by Fire, an already filmed new People Project that we have been working on about Bob Jensen, a local potter here in the valley. Now, just so you know, that dude told me he barely graduated high school with a diploma. So, for all you high school slackers, hey, you're still a human being and there's still hope for you. Just grab a stick, carve it into something pretty, and do it a million more times, and you'll be fine. Alright, so what else is going on in the valley? Do you like Shakespeare? Do you hate Shakespeare? Well, either way, EOU is putting on the quote-unquote complete works of William Shakespeare abridged, and you should like it. This play is a comedic romp that would give the bard a turning over in his grave, probably, at the prospect of his works being done through the medium of rap music, a cooking show, or finger puppets. Now that show is October 13th to 15th and 21st to 22nd at 7 p.m. in the Mackenzie Theater. On Saturday night, there's a corn maze in Medical Springs going on from 7 p.m. to midnight. I would make a joke about this, but it would probably be corny. Also, other fall festivities. There's a floating pumpkin patch on Saturday night at the Veterans Memorial Pool in LeGrand. And Pendleton is hosting Oktoberfest at the Pendleton Roundup Stadium this Saturday night. It's an all-aged event, and there is going to be meat and sausages and beer and, as such, probably flatulence. In sports. No, wait, I'm going to stop right there. I'm tired of doing sports because, to be honest, I don't know a delay of game from a traveling penalty. So I'm going to step out of the way here and let the professionals take it, starting this week with local sports, a brief package from our LGA sports director about the LeGrand Tigers. Steve?
Greetings, Steve Hendricks here with your sports roundup for this week. The LeGrand Tigers coming off a big win against the Baker City Bulldogs this past Friday, 47-34 final score, and it was a thriller to the end. Both teams playing very well. And we spoke a little bit with Coach Harold Shannon, head coach of the LeGrand Tigers football team, about that performance.
Everybody contributed. We took care of assignments like we wanted to. It was a close game the entire night, but we made plays when we needed to.
One of the things that stands out the most is the Bulldogs just didn't quit. You had to play that entire game.
Well, I kept waiting for us to make a run. We'd go up 7 points or whatever, and I thought we were going to make a run, and then all of a sudden they'd come right back. and they battled all the way through the game. So hats off to them. I thought they did a great job.
Coming up this weekend, the team boards the bus and the rest of us vehicles to go to Milton Freewater, where the Tigers will take on the McLaughlin Pioneers. Coach gave us a little preview of that upcoming match.
They run the ball fairly well. They've got some big kids again, so we're going to have to contend with some size. They have a running back who runs really tough. They throw the ball pretty well. I think we're going to do pretty well in pass coverage against them, but we're going to have to be aware of where they want to go with the ball. And we've been practicing some certain coverages to cover areas of the field that they like. But I fully expect them to play hard, wire to wire. I expect them to try some things we haven't seen before. On defense, they do a lot of blitzing, so we've been working on that even more than normal, but they blitz a lot of people from all different kinds of positions, and so we're going to have to be really active to pick up what we want to do on that.
That's your sports roundup for this week. Be sure to join us 7 o'clock this Friday night as the LeGrand Tigers travel to McLaughlin to play the Pioneers in Milton Freewater. This is a league game and a lot is at stake, so we'll be bringing you all the action live. Again, that starts at 7 o'clock right here on LeGrand Alive TV. Now back to you, Will.
Now, in other prep football news, Elgin lost to Colton 78-14. Cove lost to Joseph 56-26. Cove will play Wallowa tomorrow. Elgin will play Adrian at Adrian, and LeGrand will slug it up to Milton Freewater to play and will be there too, streaming live from the 50-ish yard line. And now for our newest weekly segment with EOU Sports Media Guys, Around the Mountain in 90 seconds.
I'm Evan House.
And I'm Chris Duarte of EOU Athletics.
This is Around the Mountain in about 90 seconds.
The EOU men's and women's cross country teams returned to the course this weekend at the LCSC Inland Empire Challenge. The men's team recently jumped 6 spots in the NAIA Top 25 from number 22 to number 16.
The 6th-ranked Mountaineer volleyball team will look to bounce back this weekend after being shocked at College of Idaho on Tuesday. EOU squares off against Evergreen and number 24 Northwest this weekend in LeGrand.
The blue and gold football team is coming off a 52-31 victory at MSU Northern. However, the Mountaineers face a much tougher opponent in number 8 Southern Oregon in Ashland Saturday at 6 p.m.
The EOU men's soccer team broke a 12-year-old CCC record after scoring 16 times against Walla Walla on Sunday. Both the EOU men's and women's soccer teams take on College of Idaho and Rocky Mountain this weekend in LeGrand.
That's the latest news in EOU Athletics. Stay tuned next week as we take you around the mountain in about 90 seconds.
For more information, visit us at www.eousports.com.
And that's your weekly Newsish Roundup. This roundup was brought to you by Grand Run Hospital, Marketplace Family Foods, Valley Realty, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, and Direct Music Source. Tune in for more local content. I'm Will Bowman.